and welcome back, my fellow fiends, to Let's Play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. We are in the final temple of the Amala Temple, the White Temple, and this one has a bit of an interesting puzzle to it. It is by far the most complicated of the three temples, so this one takes quite a while to get through. Fortunately, unlike other instances in this game, I actually did take specific notes on how to finish this puzzle, as well as notes on where all the items are. But just in the interest of showing off the gimmick here, if we go through this door, we get teleported back to the room that is adjacent to the small terminal. And yes, this is the gimmick of this temple. It is a teleportation maze. Not the worst that Atlas has ever included in an SMT RPG, but, you know, it can definitely take a while to get through this. In here, we've got a bunch of Titans to fight. I forget if we ran into these guys. You can run into these guys in North Asakusa, but you're much more likely to encounter them here, really. I think we might have. I honestly don't remember. Yeah, I'm definitely the kind of guy, stuff just kind of falls out of my brain after a while. Very terrible short-term memory. Not that it really matters too much. Alright, so let me see here. I was just consulting my notes during the encounter real quick, so let's head through here, and this'll warp us forward in the dungeon. Then we want to go through here, and then take the door that's immediately in front of us. And this'll warp us to a room that contains a mystical chest. Come on, am I waxing? Am I waxing? Am I waxing? Ah, waning! Alright, I'll get the Kagetsuchi to where it needs to be. Alright, while I was wandering around off-screen, we've got another new enemy, Gogmagog. This guy is weak to fire, and he nullifies physical attacks, so he's actually not a bad pickup if you are interested in having a demon that's better than Arahabaki that nulls physical. However, I am building towards a much better physically resistant demon, and honestly, not too far from now, we'll be able to fuse the Harlot, so that's also another way we could get really good physical resistance onto our party. That's all I just wanted to point out. I will continue advancing the Kagetsuchi now. Alright, we're at full Kagetsuchi once again. What do we get for our efforts? A Soma. Very nice. At the very least, that's 6,000 Maka I can get if I don't need to actually use it. So, I'm guessing he's really advocating for Musubi there. Alright, so that door that we took, actually I'm not exactly 100% sure where this warped us. I think this is the way we need to go to move forward. Let me just walk over here real quick. I forget where this one takes us. I know this isn't the correct way. Let's see, it takes us to the other side of the White Temple. And if we step out into this room here... Okay, yes, this gets us to the treasure. So, we've got a trap here. And it is 3 legions. Now, conveniently, I did just get Bolt Storm on Red Rider, so let's check out the damage on that. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Come on. For 25 MP, we get... Ooh, nice. Very good stuff. Yeah, having those boosts bring up your damage so much. We get a Chakra Pot for defeating them, plus whatever treasure they just happen to drop via defeating them. Alright, in the other chest, we get... a humble revival bead. Not bad at all. Let me see, just consulting my notes here. Alright, next treasure is on 2F, so we are completely done with this. We'll just take whatever door will warp us out of here. Okay, and this puts us back in the center of the White Temple. Now we can actually complete the puzzle. Or, hold on. Let me look at my notes again. Oh, I know where that one leads us. Okay. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna actually skip past that treasure. The treasure that is in that room is actually just a medicine and a bead. The bead is okay, but the rest of it is not really worth it, so I'm just gonna pass on going for that. So let's continue on here. This is the correct way forward. We want to take this room out here, and then we want to take the southern room, I believe. Yeah, I think my instructions are slightly incorrect here. I wrote southwest when it's actually southeast. Not a huge deal, though. I know what I meant. Alright, if we take that door there, that'll actually warp us to that room with that treasure. Maybe we can go back for that later, but I don't really feel it's worth it. So, one of the other enemies that you can run into here into here with relative frequency is Titania's. This is why I use this area to do my training, and well, I'll probably do a little bit more here to get Hanuman leveled up some more once he evolves. Is those demons give really good experience relative to what we can get from in the other temples, so that's why I like this area as just a quick training zone. Speaking of the Titanias, I just ran into them with a Legion. Oops, I did not mean to use a chakra drop on myself here. I'll just use up the ones I got. I got those as freebies, so why not? Alright, so the puzzle here is a bit more complicated. Let me see. I'm just paying attention here. So, we go through these rooms here, and they will warp us along the path. So, let me look at my notes here. Let's see. We do want to take clockwise paths through these, or counterclockwise paths. Let's see. This first one, we want to go clockwise to move forward. And I do want to pay attention to which box I get warped into, because, this is the correct one, I believe, the one in the southeast. There should be a mystical treasure chest in one of these rooms. I believe it's this one. However, when we walk through it, we actually get warped forward. Now this, that actually is the way that'll take us deeper into the dungeon. Let me see. Now, to get through this, we want to go counterclockwise, but I forget how to actually warp us into that mystical chest room. You know what, let's just go the intended way to start off. Okay, so we get warped forward. We're in the northwest again. And this time around, we want to go clockwise to move forward. Let's go counterclockwise. I think that warps us into the room with the mystical chest. Oh, no, was I... let me check my notes. Did I have that wrong? Huh. I wasn't paying enough attention. Oh, well, we're at the end, so let's just get this taken care of. Hold on a sec. I want to check out my party here. I may have to wander a bit to get the mystical chest, but that's not a big deal. I can just cut off my wandering until I actually find it, but let's see. What demons do we want to bring along for this fight? This one's a bit weird. Actually, really indecisive on this. I'm not sure which ones I want to bring. You know what? No, that's too much of a risk. I'll go with what I got. I've got Satan run at the moment just because Gehenna's not going to learn a skill off the next level up. Man, I'm really indecisive on what I bring. You know what? Let's just go with this and see what happens. I think I can make this work if I do a particular thing. And I'm not going to bother restoring Hanuman's MP. He's not really going to do anything in this. He's just a pass turn. Now, stepping forward, we get to meet Albion. Boom! Looks like he's a little hungry. Now, this is probably the most unique fight of the ones we've run into. To start off, Albion will conjure up some new demons. Now, these demons that he summons up are elemental. The black one is ice, the green one is wind, the red one is fire, and the yellow one is electric. And the gimmick of these fights is that if all of the add-ons that Albion summon get killed, or if you kill Albion, they revive each other. So you have to make sure you kill them all at the same time. Now, obviously, the elemental ones are weak to their opposing element, but otherwise nullify their primary element. So you want to make sure you take out the ones that will drain your multi-targeting stuff, and then just focus on hitting them with that, and kill them as best you can. Let me see here. I'd really like to take out the wind one. Yeah, Demikin's gonna have a bit of a hard time here. Now, as far as I remember, they do not have access to any debuffs, so we can focus on bringing them down. I think what I'm gonna do here is I'll focus on taking out the red one first, and then I can start dumping out Prominence and Hellfire, and that should deal some good damage for us. So, let me see here. Yeah, we'll hit the red one. This isn't going to do great damage, but we will use Wind Cutter on him. And we will get the final War Cry in. This will basically neuter their offense completely, and we won't have to worry too much about them. Now, one thing to note about Albion is that the playable version of Albion is actually immune to physical attacks, but this version of him that you fight is not. So you can actually use physical attacks on... Here, I'll demonstrate right there. See? We can punch him, no problem. Let's see here. Yeah, right now we're just going to focus on taking down Urizen. So just keep hitting him with our best stuff here. Hit him with Wind Cutters. And once he's out of the way, we can start using Fire Elemental Magic. There we go. So let's throw out Hellfire. Okay, very good that I hit the Ice one Tharmas there, and we'll do another attack on Albion. Now again, you want to be very careful about the damage you're dealing here. You want to make sure you take them all out as close to at the same time as you can manage. Let's see, I'm going to have to use a bead on White Rider there. Yeah, I don't have any healing magic in the party right now, so I'll have to suffice with items, but that's not a big deal. Alright, let's use Prominence. Hopefully we can roll the extra turn off of... Yes, there we go. Okay, so at this point, I want to start hitting Albion with Windcutter. We want to make sure we don't take him out prematurely. So we'll just punch him. We'll launch another physical attack. Alright. And then we're going to go on the full offensive here, and hopefully I can take them all out at the same time. Albion does not have too much HP, so this shouldn't be too hard to manage. Hopefully. Okay. Hanuman's just going to pass, because he really can't do much at this point. Okay. Alright, I've got an idea here. Since, we're not exactly doing how I hoped here, we're just gonna pass on the upcoming turns there. As you can see, Luva is almost dead. Next turn, we're gonna go on the full offensive, just try to take them out as best we can. We'll just throw a love tap onto Albion just to bring him into danger zone. And they do not need their entire team present to revive him. It just needs to be at least one of them that is alive to revive him. Okay, so we'll do this. Once again, we'll have Hanuman pass, and I should be able to finish him off here. Yeah, he's hunched over. Hopefully this rolls a second hit. No, didn't even need it. Alright, cool. Yeah, that fight can be a little tricky if you do not stagger out the kills properly, but we managed there. We managed. Okay, so, let me see. Level 62, we want to take some strength. I just had Satan on so that I could get Charisma out of the way, because once Charisma is out of the skill list, you can learn Deadly Fury, and this is widely considered to be the Demi-Fiend's best unique physical attack. It has the best balance between damage and crit rate. It crits extremely frequently, and it's about twice as strong as a regular physical attack, so it's really good. For defeating Albion, we get Adama. This is the next electric Magatama, and it teaches us Bolt Storm. So, going forward, I do want to learn Elect Boost from Narukami, and then I want to learn Bolt Storm off of that, and I really want to focus on electric magic over force magic going forward, because even though it's a little bit weaker than force magic in terms of raw damage, it has some utility in some very difficult situations that I'd like to have it for, and it's not that much weaker in standard encounters. Hey, I'm just trying to be friendly. I don't really consider myself being used. Up until the end, me and Hijiri, we maintained a good sort of mutual relationship. Now we can warp out of here, but we've got a couple treasures that I want to get. First and foremost, obviously, I want to get the mystical chest, so I just have to bumble my way through to remember how to get to that. Unfortunately, I didn't take necessarily good notes on how to get to that one. And then there is a secret treasure you can get if you take a very specific route, although it's not that complicated. It just requires you do something slightly different at the end when you're on the correct path. Also, now that we've defeated all the bosses, the central pyramid has lowered to the ground, and we can now actually enter it. Alright. I'm all ears, but that's going to have to wait until I get the treasure. Alright, so I'm going to get to the treasure, and I'll just meet you there. Alright, I'm at the mystical chest. It turns out we just needed to go clockwise instead of counterclockwise in the top right room. So I've got to advance the Kagatsuchi. I just wanted to point out the correct way to get to this chest. However, oh, excuse me. And for our reward here, we get a chakra pot. Now there is one more treasure that we can get up here, and it's a bit of a secret treasure and a very unique item, although that does not necessarily mean it's a useful one. Now you can see the cash cube for it over there, but if we try to walk towards it, we just get warped backwards. So we've got to take a very specific route to get through it. So I have the notes here, and I'm just going to follow these verbatim. So we got to go south from the entrance, then we got to take the west door, then the north door. And this is similar to the route we take to get to the correct path. We gotta take the north door here. then west. And then we need to, let me see here. We need to go through the north door again. And then we actually need to go backwards through the door we just went through, and this will take us through a special warp that puts us right in front of the treasure. Alright, I just gotta heal up real quick. Got first struck there and took some pretty nasty damage. Now what do we get for our reward for doing that? We get the Blessed Fan. Now this is a unique item that is, it's an infinite use item, much like the Spyglass that we already sold. Let me see, where are you? Blessed Fan, right here. It uses Mahama. This is completely useless, as even against stuff that's weak to it, the basic Hama spell almost never hits, so this is a completely worthless item. I could see you wanting to keep the Spyglass even if you've played the game before, just because it's a handy way to recheck weaknesses, but the Blessed Fan, I would absolutely recommend just selling for the 50,000 Maka. It is not a good item in the slightest, and it is far more valuable to you if you just sell it. So that's all we need to do in here, and I'm just going through this encounter because I do want to say, unfortunately, I went through this a little too efficiently, so Hanuman didn't get anywhere near the experience he needed to, so I am going to be doing some additional training off-screen just to get him to level up, since it's going to be another evolution that we don't get to see. He evolves into Wukong, and Wukong is an excellent physical demon. He nullifies physical attacks and is immune to instant death with no weaknesses. Very, very powerful, and I'm a huge fan. He's been on my team, much like Kurama. It's just a demon that I always beeline for when I have the option to actually get him. I highly recommend using him. Just a super good demon. And we'll just quickly get through this encounter. Come on, Prominence. And of course I've got Elect-boosted Bolt Storms. Yeah, once you get like the tier 2 random hit magic with the corresponding elemental boost, you can absolutely shred through encounters that are not immune to them. They just deal excellent damage in this game. Far better than the skills as they were in Digital Devil Saga. They got nerfed pretty bad in that game. Especially the first one. Oh, and conveniently, we're getting the treasure that I passed over, so I didn't even need to worry about skipping over it earlier. Hooray. I love it when everything comes together in the end. Isn't it great? Alright, let's get out of here. We've spent too much time screwing around in the White Temple. And by screwing around, I meant we did exactly what we needed to get everything as relatively efficient as possible. Let's get to Isamu. He's waiting for us. Let me throw up a Stoma just in the off chance that it blocks everything. Also, I'm now remembering that Gehenna, it teaches you Magma Access at level 65. I don't know why I thought it was 61. I guess I was just so eager to get it. I think I was a little higher level in my previous playthrough, so I was much closer to the level that I need to be at to learn it when I got here. Maybe. That's hard to tell. Let's enter the Central Temple. I'm rambling too much again. I'm sorry. Now, in here, we see Hijiri is in a pretty precarious situation. Almost looks like he's in sort of a crucifixion pose, minus the cross. Seems to be facing death with some level of dignity. Isamu is going into a full god complex here, though. Please stop, Isamu. You're not exactly doing a good thing here. I've never claimed that. I just disagree heavily with what you're doing right now. So I'm guessing you need a sacrifice to access the Magatsui. Like I said, I at least appreciate that Hijiri isn't reduced to begging here. He seems to accept the choices that he made, or what got him here. Hijiri is being led to his death through his own hubris. I wonder if Isamu will fall to the same thing. You know, you make that huge flex, Isamu, but you wouldn't have gotten this far if not for me killing all the demons. And Hijiri is lost to the waves of the Amala, subsumed by the Magatsuhi, and it looks like he is providing it to Isamu en masse. So I'm guessing you're gonna summon your god now? Much like the Ark, I suppose? And now that Isamu has gained the Magatsu he needs to formally fulfill his reason and summon forth his god, he's going to become one with said god. Say hello to Noah, everybody. The Ark of Absolute Solitude. I can see the staunch difference between what Isamu is doing and what Miss Takao is trying with Aradia, and yeah, it's pretty distinct. That said, I hope Isamu can appreciate the irony that he depended on us to create the opening for his Magatsuhi in order to create his world of solitude. Wait, what do you mean, the god of Yasuga at Asakusa? I don't like the sound of that. We better head back there. Once again, we have to return to Asakusa, and this time there's going to be a bit of a marked change compared to the last few times we've been there. Well, I'm not exactly sure if that's the case. You can be free of everybody else under Masubi. Yeah, I saw that too. I can watch the cutscene and I can read the dialogue, old man. Well, that's neither here nor there. Let's get out of here. So, that is everything done at the Amala Temple. We've gotten all the treasure. I will come back here after this video is over to train for a bit, but let's just head back to Asakusa and see how the situation has developed there. Apparently, Chiaki is making a move at Asakusa. To actually move forward with the plot, we need to go to Mifuna Shiro, but we'll save that for next video and see what is happening there. So, once you exit into the streets of Asakusa after completing the Amala Temple, the city is silent, none of the mannequins are around, and you may notice the danger indicator. We've got demons. Asakusa is no longer an absolute safe zone, and demons have flooded the streets. That said, this is still kind of my preferred base of operations, just because of how conveniently located and close together all the different services are, and if I'm willing to walk a little bit, I can also get chakra drops from the collector shop, so I still tend to come back here whenever I need to save, heal up, do some fusing, so I still kind of like this area for that, but that is neither here nor there. Now, like I said, I want to get a level up for Hanuman, so that it'll evolve into Wukong, and learning Life Surge will also be pretty nice. And once he's evolved into Wukong, I want to level up Wukong one time, because he'll learn the skill Haso Hapa, which is one of the best HP-based skills in the game, and something funny about it that I actually care about is that it costs a lot of HP to use, which will allow me to manipulate it so that Wukong will always be the character with the lowest HP in a battle, and the reason I want that will become apparent in the very near future. But we will get to that when we get to that. Right now, I'll just save. I'll do all the preparation work I need to off-screen. We'll likely learn Bolt Storm and possibly a Lek Boost in the meantime, depending on how much experience I get off of that. That was not the save point that I want to use, but not a huge deal. If I do screw up, I can just redo some of the stuff. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, goodbye.